Good morning. It is November the 10th, I think. Yes, it's November the 10th, Wednesday, 2021, and this is today's Pulse update. I don't have a lot to update on. I got stood up a whole bunch in the last couple of days. Hopefully getting those rescheduled. We're excited about some meetings coming up, and always we're fulfilling orders and getting kiosks out of the door is great. The thing I wanted to chat about this morning, though, is how do you grow a company at the same rate each year, right? So since we started, we've grown at 3x, right? 300% every year. And that was easy when the first year we did 10,000 in sales, right? And the next year we did 40,000 in sales. And then the next year we did 160,000 in sales. The problem we're going to run into here is we've done about $500,000 in sales this year, which is awesome. And we're really excited about it. And it, obviously, you think of $500,000, think that's a lot of money, not realizing the margins is really what it's all about, right? Like we sell a very expensive product that doesn't have ridiculously high margins, and we sell nonprofits. So we really don't feel like we can increase those margins by a ton, because then it's just, we're doing a disservice to those people that we serve at that point. But I have no complaints. We're doing great. We're excited. We're growing. We have amazing partners. Everything's awesome. The question then becomes, in order to keep that growth next year, we'd have to do 1.5 million in sales. And I can tell you right now, what we do right now won't trigger that amount of growth. And so the question that's rattling around in our minds, in my mind, but everybody on the team, is, how do we do that? What worked yesterday won't work tomorrow. We won't be in the same place. Our growth won't be in the same area. We have new challenges, and it's a place we've never been. None of this we've ever done. We've worked in much larger companies, but the startup level, the skills that get you from $0 to $100,000 and from $100,000 to $500,000, they're very different. And the skills that get you from 500 to 5 million, I realize, are very different. And so there's this interesting balance of, we need to figure out how to scale. We need to make sure that we're offering value to our customers and make sure that they feel the same level of experience that they've always been getting, and hopefully an improved experience. We need to make sure that we're fulfilling our mission and not worrying too much about growth. And we need to really try and still grow, because that growth fuels so much of what we do. And at the end of the day, every new customer of ours is another organization that's listening to the people that are most vulnerable in the world. And that's an important thing. That's really our end goal and end mission. And so it's this interesting balance that we're going through of how do we do it. And this morning we had the idea of, okay, what if instead of planning for 3x growth, we plan for 10x? Because if we can plan and execute around 10x, even if we don't get there, we're probably going to get there for 3x. And one thing that I've realized is in running a business, I constantly underestimate what it takes to do something. I underestimate how expensive something is, how much time it will take, the effort involved, the issues that may come up. I underestimate everything that we do. And so it's kind of the, aim for the moon and you hit the stars type of thing. Instead of aiming for 3x, if we aim for 10x and we plan around 10x, there's a goal of maybe getting to 3x. Feels within the realm of possibility. It's just so hard to conceive at this point. We need to get better at it, right? We need to learn and we need to grow, and we need to figure out how do we do that? How do we scale? And so to give some perspective, some numbers behind this, we close about 1 in every 10 demos that we do. We get a demo from about 1 in every 100 outreaches we do, and we do manual outreach. So you're not getting spam from us. Every LinkedIn message, email, whatever it is someone legitimately sending an email, or LinkedIn message or whatever. So when you start adding those together, to be able to hit our goals for next year, we need to add about 350 new customers, about one a day. So if you start adding those up, at 300, let's call it 360 because that's really close to one day. 360 new customers. I need 10 demos per new customer, so I need 3,600 demos. I need to reach out to 100 people to get each of those demos, so I'm looking at 360,000 outreaches a day, or roughly, not a day, in a year, or roughly 1,000 a day. On my best days, I can do 100, and just kind of head down all day reaching out to people. It's a daunting task to think about. Of now, how do we keep that authenticity, but still try and get to that reaching out to about 1,000 people every day. And then the flip side of it is the operations. Right now we do great getting kiosks and things out, but all of a sudden if we had one every single day, as opposed to kind of like the one a week, 1 or 2 weeks that cadence we're on, that changes things drastically. So we're thinking about all of these things. It's a really interesting level of conversation to try and understand. And the other piece to this is those ratios I talked about, right? So the 1 in 10 demos equating to a new customer, and 1 in 100 outreaches. If we can change those ratios, right? If 1 in 2 demos became a customer, all of a sudden the math is much better. If 1 in 5 outreaches were actually came to a demo, all of a sudden that math is stupendously better, right? So there's this combination of how do we outreach to this many people, but also if we can just cut our ratios in half. If 1 in 5 demos became a customer, if 1 in 50 people accepted a demo, then all of a sudden we only need to do 500, right? And if we combine those two together, because those would both be cut in half, then we're all at 1 in 250, and we're way closer to being able to be at the level that we need to be to do this. And that's for 10x growth. So the idea is if we can aim for that, improve those two ratios, then we can really potentially get closer to 3x is the goal there. I don't know. We've never done this, so I'd love any feedback anybody has that maybe has done this before. But we realize in order to maximize the good we can do in the world, we need to be in more places and do more things and be better at what we're doing. And so we're constantly working on that. And that's obviously where my head is today. And that's why I was sharing it with the Pulse update. Also, we have a webinar in just a second. If you are just watching this, please jump on. We're talking about the power of anonymous feedback. You can always catch it up on demand later. So check it out, pulseforgood.com/webinars. You can see it there. And then we got a good implementation meeting with the county in Virginia, Maryland, and it'll be a good rest of the day today. Anyways, we'll discuss more tomorrow, but you'll know I'm thinking about how do we do that 10x? How do we fix those ratios, get those better, and how do we do that level of outreach with authenticity? Always a problem, but we're working on it.